Hey guys, today we are back with another monthly garden tour. It's the end of July. Let's walk through all the gardens and talk to you a little bit about what's going on. I always like to start with the flower garden. This year I'm not as pleased with what's happening. Some beds didn't come up the way I wanted them to, but we do have flowers and we are getting sales for the first time for our bouquets, so I'm really pleased with that. Some of these flowers are just like absolutely stunning. I'm going to be saving seeds from this zinnia. It's just super pretty. My amaranth is growing tall. I thought this was Bells of Ireland. It is not, in fact. It is like celosia, so I think that's what it is, which is kind of disappointing, but it still works for arrangements. Over here we have some more of the zinnias that we planted later in the season. They're super hot, pink colored. I'm really pleased with these ones. These two beds, I last minute planted Rudbeckia, daisies, echinacea, coneflower, stuff like that, because they just weren't coming up. The asters and stuff had not produced, so I was really disappointed in that, but I'm hoping that these things come up eventually. I think those are weeds, but I've been scared to pull them because I didn't want to pull a plant. This is our Thunderbergia, which is our vining black-eyed Susan. See, it's too hot for them to really be appearing right now, but there's the black center. It's making its climb. This stray tomato plant that just popped up in my garden. It's looking really good. And the gladiolas are starting to die back, so we're gonna have to trim those back soon. Over here is our mixed assortment of flowers. We have a wide arrangement from forget-me-nots to a ton of different colored bachelor buttons. I love these pink ones. All these different colors. Calendula. There's a ground cherry here that should not be there. Lots of different things. I had some baby's breath here. You can see it right here, but they're done flowering, I think. But this row looks really good. Over here in our sunflowers, they are tall, really tall. And they're all like the same thing. I was kind of disappointed in that because they were all just kind of turned out to be the same variety of sunflowers. But, I mean, they look good. So that's plus. This is a really big one. It's like my hand up against it. It's like huge. But lots of these. Right here on our trellis is our cypress vine. See, it's super crazy with the vining. Here's one of the flowers for it. We have some morning glories that came up as seeds, and so they're just kind of doing their thing. I tried to pull all the weeds that I could, but they're just still going. In here, we have a lot of different things that are just being taken over by the cypress vine. We're just going to let that do its thing. This garden did not do what I wanted it to, and so far I'm just kind of pulling what I can, getting what I can from it, and calling it a day. I haven't really been in here weeding that much as I should at least. So it's just kind of, it is what it is this year for this garden. I'm disappointed a little bit with how things are turning out, but the things that are, they're looking good. So flower garden, ooh, hello little butterfly. Flower garden's looking good for what it is, and I'm pleased with the amounts that we're getting in arrangements. On to the next garden. This is like my favorite look over of like every year. The squash garden is an absolute jungle, and I think it's crazy. A lot of different pumpkins, melons, squash in here. I can't really say what's in here for sure because I don't fully remember, but if you want to watch me planting all this stuff, I have a video of it. I'll link at the end. But yeah, this is how the squash garden's doing. It's pretty crowded, pretty crazy in there. The main garden is in full production, and we're just finally starting to harvest some of the produce. Starters will walk back here into the last row of the garden. We have our basil, radishes. Which you can see down here, the radishes. No, these aren't radishes. Yes, they are. These are radishes. The radishes are, I think they're done since they're flowering on top. There's a big one. So the radishes should be harvestable. The cabbages, I have to build a containment for this because we do have cabbage worms, lopers. Not good. So stay tuned because I'm going to have a video on that, teaching you guys how you can protect from pests. My okra, never had okra ever, so I'm intrigued to see how these do. So far the plants are looking great. And then some tomatoes down here at the end. 2 rows of beans. They're Provider Bush, our favorite green bean. Right here is our cucumbers. The bugs really got to the cucumbers this year. The bacterial wilt took out a couple of the plants, which is rather disappointing. But I have some more seeds going. You still have time if you have some bacterial wilt or bug problems. You should still have time to start some more cucumbers. Make sure you pick the right ones and try to grow some more. Our tomato plants, they have the early blight. You can see it at the base, but it's really not that bad. The plants are still looking fairly good for the blight that they do have. So tomatoes, right over here, in here somewhere right here. I have some start tomatoes of the blueberry tomatoes that we had last year. And those are looking pretty good. Over here, more tomatoes. I'm really loving the combination of the nasturtium with my tomatoes. It really is like a great ground cover for weeds and stuff. And it also is a pest deterrent. So instead of them going to the plant itself, they all go to the nasturtium. It smells good, they look good, and they work really good for what they are. Right over here, I have one more zucchini. Really disappointed. You can already see the bacterial wilt again. We're not going to have any zucchini this year, but it's a good thing, honestly, because how many people are always giving away zucchini? I think we'll get some from somebody eventually. Right here are my dragon tongue bush beans. I'm getting ready to do a succession crop. As you can see, they're starting to fall over. Stay tuned for that. I'm going to teach you guys how to do that as well in another video. Right here is our mammoth sunflowers. They're looking huge. They're going to be flowering here pretty soon. Over here, more nasturtium. Look at these pretty colors right here. Absolutely beautiful. Over here, peas. I'm going to start those soon as well because I need to plant a second crop of those. Peas do better in cooler weather, so planting them right now in the summer is not going to produce the best, but they're starting to get a little straggly, and I'm going to need a second crop of them soon. Over here, we have more nasturtium. These are the peach and cherry dwarf. Right here you can see the cherry dwarf is just beginning to flower, and that is super duper pretty. And then over here we have some beans. These were a part of a margarita mix, and I just kind of threw those in. They're supposed to be purple and yellow and green and stuff. Looks like we just got the yellow ones. Right there you can see the peach nasturtium poking out. Super pretty. Next we have our cucamelons, which I'm getting lots of these now. And these are really fun to have because I like making pickles out of these. If you guys haven't seen those videos, check out my Instagram. I have it uploaded there, teaching you guys how to make your own cucamelon pickles. They're really yummy, really simple recipe. And here we have some dwarf sunflowers over there as well. Our beets, looking good. I'm really pleased with my potatoes. If you guys watched that video, last week's video, you guys know what we're talking about here with these potatoes. Peppers, we have some bell. You can see there's a couple bell peppers coming on right here. And then over here are jalapeno peppers and some variety sweet peppers. But that's how the main garden looks onto the deck. Lastly, the garden that I always forget about, you can kind of see that I do because these don't, I forget to water these, but our on the deck corn is starting to grow. The cobs, peppers here, these are looking really good and healthy. Right here is our goji berries. Really pleased with these. Piccolini basil, our pear tomatoes, which are just coming into season. You can see there's a lot of wilt from not enough watering, but I gotta get on top of that. This deck area, the dirt just dries out so fast due to the mass amount of sunlight. And here we have our peanuts, which out of all the peanuts we planted, this was the only one to come up, so I'm excited to see how the peanuts are doing underneath the soil. But for right now, just kind of seeing some flowers. Right here you can see this is going to drop into the ground, and this is what is going to produce our peanut plants. So I'm excited to see the harvest from those, but I think that's everything for our gardens. Thank you guys for watching and joining me for another monthly garden tour. If you guys want to stay tuned for more of this type of content, please hit the subscribe button. Make sure to like and share this video. It helps me out a lot, and I appreciate you guys being here. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.